Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? My name is Manny, man. Welcome to Boxing Cafe. If you have tuned into this channel before, obviously you've always seen fight highlights. On today's video, moving forward, what I want to do is I want to be able to expand with the content on this channel. The whole purpose of the channel way back when I started about close to 3 years ago now is to not only give boxing highlights, but to be able to just interact with other boxing enthusiasts, other boxing fans that really love the sport, and just talk about boxing, just shoot the shit and just have fun, on a regular basis, and basically give you some boxing news, and of course give you some replays and some highlights from some of the previous fights. Moving forward, I would like to continue doing that. I'm going to keep giving you highlights. But I want to be able to expand and grow a community of just boxing fans, just getting together and just shooting the shit and just having fun, like if we were just hanging out at a sports bar or hanging out in my damn living room and just having a damn nice good time and having those agreements and disagreements regarding what's going on in the fights and so on and so forth. So going on to the card tomorrow night, pretty interesting fight. We got two fights going on. They also, I believe, ESPN is going to also highlight a young heavyweight who is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jeremiah Milton. He's 3-0 with 3 KOs. I have not seen him fight before, so another up-and-coming heavyweight prospect I think is going to be televised tomorrow, so we'll check that out. But tomorrow, of course, right from the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino from Tulsa, Oklahoma, we got Robson Conceicao, as you can see here, going up against Xavier Martinez for the WBC Super Featherweight title, Eliminator, and it's going to be a pretty interesting fight. You ask me, it's going to be a pretty interesting fight. You got Conceicao coming in here 16-1 with 8 knockouts. And then you have Xavier Martinez 17-0 with 11 knockouts. And to be honest with you, I've seen these guys both fight. I've seen Robson fight about 3 times already. This is going to be the 4th time. And I've seen Xavier fight about the same amount of times, about 3 fights. Martinez, this is going to be the 4th time. And I give a slight edge to Martinez just simply because better counterpuncher, good against the ropes, a little more elusive with his head than Robson. But Robson, dangerous with a right hand, where Martinez has a good left hook, has a little bit more power. His knockout percentage is higher, as you can see, with 17 wins and 11 of them by way of knockout, while Conceicao only has 8 knockouts. But both guys, man, again, I favor a little bit Martinez in this matchup, and it's just more so because of the knockout ratio, and not only that, just simply that in the clinches, up close, he's been a little bit effective, at least in the fights I've seen, whereas Robson has had a little bit of trouble, but has been able to come up with some big shots, especially the right hand. Listen, anytime you get 2 prize fighters in the square circle, any damn fucking thing can happen. So any one of these guys can get their butts knocked out. So anything can happen. But I sway a little bit. I'm leaning more a little bit towards Martinez. You let me know down in the comment section who you like in this matchup. But I believe that Martinez has the edge. It should be an interesting fight. In the co-main event, just before the main event, we got Rene, Tellez, Giron from Mexico, 16-1 with 10 knockouts, going up against Luis Chucho Melendez, who is from Puerto Rico, nice Puerto Rican fighter. I've seen him fight. He's pretty darn good. He's got, he's got some things. He's still a little raw in some areas, but nonetheless, very, very good. This is going to be a 10-round fight in the junior lightweight division, and he's from Miami, Florida, 17-1 with 13 knockouts, while Giron is 16-1 with 10 knockouts. So they both have a little bit of punching power. Again, the percentage of punching power is a little higher. Knockout percentage for Luis Melendez. Both young guys. Giron is 22 years old. Melendez is 23 years old. Now, you ask me, man, I'm looking more forward to this fight than the main event. But and it's more so because I want to see if Melendez is going to take that next step forward. I think that when it comes to Rene, in my opinion, from what I've seen, he's very raw in some areas. Weak counterpuncher. Doesn't look like he defends himself very well. His defense is kind of flawed a little bit. I think the punching power, Melendez bangs a lot harder. It's going to be a true test for Giron here. But nonetheless, like I just said a moment ago, anything can happen in the square circle. So you never know what may happen. Melendez had a very good matchup against Thomas Matisse just a couple of months ago. Should have possibly lost that fight. I mean, they gave him the fight. I personally felt watching the fight that Matisse did enough to win the fight. So I felt that maybe he got robbed a little bit, but I could also see where maybe the judges kind of like were persuaded more with the factors that Melendez was a little more busier in the clinches and up close in the center of the ring when he was countering, while there were times where Matisse was just trying to be a little too more defensive and was defense, and a lot of the high guard, but not enough offense. So again, that is important in boxing. You can also defend, but you also should definitely let your hands go and be able to produce some points and score. So I think that's where it probably hurt him at, if you ask me. But nonetheless, I think that nonetheless that matchup, it is what it is. Melendez won, even if we felt that Matisse got robbed. Nonetheless, moving forward, I think that this is a really, really tough matchup for Giron, in my opinion. So I think that, hands down, Melendez should be able to smoke through Giron, but you never know. So definitely look forward to watching that matchup. Let me know what you think of this matchup. Do you like this matchup better than the main event, or vice versa? Or if you have a particular fighter you're gearing to as far as styles or how well they fight, let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear from you. Other than that, we're going to have two small young prospects coming up. Got Nico Walsh, man, in the middleweight division, going up against Jeremiah Yeager. I don't know nothing about Jeremiah Yeager. It's a 4-rounder for Ali Walsh. This is his 4th pro fight. He's 3-0 with 2 knockouts. I would assume that he's probably going to do well here and be able to win over Yeager. The only thing I found on Yeager is that he has a long, extensive MMA record, so I know he has some fighting skills. But as far as in the square circle, as far as a boxer, I don't know how well he is. So I don't know if he's coming from MMA to boxing as a transition, or he's been boxing and doing MMA at the same time. Other than that, we got a heavyweight contender, or prospect, that's coming up now in the ranks. He's from Tulsa, as this event is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we got Jeremiah Milton, 3-0 with 3 knockouts. He's going to be on that card as well. So I look forward to the card. We'll see what happens, tomorrow. Other than that, tomorrow night, also in Ohio, in Warren, Ohio, at least that's where I believe there's going to be at. We're going to have also the WBC Cruiserweight Championship, where you got Makabu going against Michuno, Makabu is going up at 28-2 with 25 knockouts, and Michuno is 23-5 with 13 knockouts. And I'm not going to discuss much here. I think Makabu, with his punching power, with 25 knockouts, pretty much almost like an 80% knockout ratio. I don't see no reason why he should not be pulling this one out. So, but again, anything can happen. These are some big boys, cruiserweights, so anything can happen in the square circle, as we all know. But I think Makabu should be in the front line of getting a victory here. We'll see what happens. Then moving forward, really some very interesting fights coming up. But I want to just go through 2 fight cards that I'm really, really looking forward to. And they're both going to be in Madison Square Garden. And obviously the first one is Berlanga versus Rolls. Berlanga headlining this thing up at the Hulu Theater and MSG back this coming March the 19th. It's going to be a heck of a damn fight. For one, Rose is a pretty good fighter. Berlanga is an up-and-coming prospect, another Puerto Rican kid that's really, been in the focal point in his division. I mean, we're talking about super middleweights here, but this is going to be a great fight. I think obviously Berlanga, with an 18-0 with 16 knockouts, is very dangerous. He has a lot more punching power than Steve Rolls has. Rolls also is is a little bit of an older guy. I think he's at 36, 37 years old, where Berlanga is really young. I think he's 23, 24. So Edgar Berlanga, March 19th, he's going to be defending his NABO super middleweight belt on the Hulu Theater and MSG. And this is going to be a heck of a fucking damn fight card, man, to be totally honest with you. I mean, I wish I can go. I live in New York. I live in upstate New York now. But I'm born and raised New Yorker, and also New York Rican as well. So Berlanga would be nice. And he's actually from my old neighborhood. Supposedly he's from Bushwick, Brooklyn, and that's where I pretty much grew up at. So Edgar Berlanga. But let me talk a little bit about the fight. Berlanga, man, definitely a big banger. Got some big punches. He is a little bit raw, in my opinion. In some areas, he definitely needs to, pick up this his conditioning, his speed. Last fight or two I saw him, he kind of like wear down in the middle of the rounds. He finally had his 8-rounder, and he went the whole full 8 rounds after he was knocking everybody left and right in the first round. this is going to be a test for him, and that's what we should do. We should slowly but surely, start testing him, start expanding hopefully his skill set. If he can defend himself a little bit better, move his head a little bit more, he's a little bit too straightforward, but he's got power in both hands, and that's the thing. When you have power, anything can happen any given time with one of those punches. So Steve Rose is going to have his hands full, but I think Rose will also be testing Berlanga. So a very interesting fight here. I do like Berlanga. And we move on. The co-feature is probably one of my favorite young kids coming up right now, and that's Xander. And we're going to click on here, and that's the boy right here, man. Xander Zayas, another Puerto Rican kid that came from San Juan, Puerto Rico, is now residing in Florida, and he has been kicking butt. And this guy's the real deal, man, folks. I'm telling you right now, if you're not watching him closely, he's the real deal. He can defend. He moves well. He's got good speed. He's got punching power in both hands. He can counter. He can jab. He can box. And he's very swift. And the other thing about it, he's got a great smile. He's got a great persona. And that's what you want in boxing. And then the thing that's so dangerous about Xander is that, man, he's right now a junior middleweight. He's still 19 years old, folks. This is a young guy, man. He is 12-0 with 9 knockouts, and he is a young kid. Before I move on, Quincy Lavales, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, 12-2-1. Never seen him fight before. He's going to be battling my friend here, Zayas, with 7 knockouts. I don't see the reason why Zayas, again, anything can happen in the square circle. I see Zayas moving on and becoming 13-0 and possibly getting his 10th knockout. We don't know, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm looking to see if this kid is actually getting better and better. His frame that he has right now, he looks like he's a skinny guy. He's only 19. He hasn't even filled down into a man size yet. This is a kid that's going to be able to dominate in the junior middleweight division, and possibly super middleweight, all within the next 3 to 4 years, and could possibly easily, he easily can get up to light heavyweight because of his size, his wingspan. He has the room in his body to grow into a full-fledged light heavyweight down the line. So Xander Zayas is someone to keep your eye on. He's definitely a big up-and-coming prospect, and I do believe that this guy's going to dominate in this division and in those other divisions I just mentioned for several years to come. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. I just enjoy watching him. So Xander Zayas is on the fight card. Then you also have here, as you can see, Keyshawn Davis, silver medalist in the Olympics. He is from Norfolk, Virginia. The guy's coming in 4-0 with 3 knockouts. And you know what? He's the real deal, too. He's got nice hands. He's got speed. He's got charisma. Nice smile. The kid, moves well. He's got a heck of, pedigree. So many years boxing since he was really, really young. All the amateur ranks, all the accolades that he has done in the amateur ranks. So Keyshawn Davis, we slowly want to see him mature and get through. I know that he really wants to maybe get through this division and get up there and start fighting some really big dogs in the next year and a half. But take your time. Give yourself the time to grow into the sport and into the pro ranks. Keyshawn, you're going to be just fine. But he is very, very good. Looking forward to seeing him. He's going up against Mexican veteran Esteban Sanchez, who's 18-1, but with only 8 knockouts. And he's also another guy, fairly young. He's only 23 years old as well. And this is probably going to be the first time he's fighting in the United States. I think that's what I heard. Sorry about that. So that, we got those. There's some great fights on this card, man. This is a heck of a card. This is a heck of a card for anybody that wants to go to Madison Square Garden at the Hulu Theater and watch. You're going to see like 6-7 fights that night. So moving on that fight card as well, we have junior welterweight John Etelibre Boza, 16-0 with 7 knockouts. He's in an 8-round fight. Man, we're going to get some of John as well at Tellez. Then you also have on the fight card Berlanga's stablemate. He's one of the guys that train in the same gym. Paulo Pretty Boy Valdez is 6-0 with 5 knockouts. He's going to be doing a 6-round fight. And then you got also a fellow Puerto Rican junior lightweight, Henry Moncho Lebron, 14-0 with 9 knockouts. He's on an 8-round fight as well. And then we're not even finished yet. We got one more. We have Calvin Davis, Keyshawn Davis's brother. The Davises are going to dominate in these weight classes over the next few years. 3-0 with 2 knockouts. He's also on the card. I don't know if all these fights are going to be televised, they're going to be all on the pay-per-view. Maybe not, but nonetheless, man, if you're going to MSG to the Hulu Theater on March 19th, you're going to have a heck of a time watching these fights. I look forward to watching them, and I look forward to covering them here in Boxing Cafe, be able to discuss with you guys. So let me know what you think of this fight card, if you're just as excited as I am, because I think it's going to be a heck of a fucking night at Madison Square Garden. Other than that, my goodness, we just got the news yesterday. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are fighting for the unification of the lightweight division at Madison Square Garden. Again, Madison Square Garden now is becoming a hotbed for all these fighters, man. First, you got to give kudos to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul at MVP Promotions to put this fight together. This is what I'm talking about, man. You got to give kudos to those promotional companies. The Zone will be telecasting the event. This is an historical fight. One, because they're fighting in Madison Square Garden. Two, never, ever has there been a main event of this caliber for women's championship unification ever. So this is going to be history here, man. Look forward to watching it. I hope you guys are as well. We're going to let me discuss a little bit about what we're going to see here with these ladies, man. So first things first, we got Katie Taylor. She's 19-0 with 6 knockouts. She is 35 years old, so these ladies are getting up there. Amanda Serrano, 42-1-1 with 30 knockouts. Holy smoke, 33 years old. And I'm telling you right now, I'm a big Amanda Serrano fan. I've been watching her for nearly 6-7 years now. She is an amazing fighter, man. I mean, she was also a very good MMA fighter for the few times that she fought over there. But Amanda Serrano, I'm going to tell you something right now. This fucking girl, man, she can possibly beat up on some flyweights, male boxers. That's how good she is. Defensively, she's tough. She can take a good shot. She's got speed. She can box if she needs to, and she also can slug it out. She's a very good counter puncher. Is not afraid to go in the trenches and dig down deep. Katie Holmes, good fighter. I love her sticking and moving, up and down movement. She moves her feet well. She's got power. You look at her, she's solid, man. And you think Amanda Serrano is pretty solid, but Katie's got a body like she looks like she freaking works out with weights. She's got little biceps and triceps. She's got some broad shoulders. She's going to be a tough girl for Amanda Serrano. I still am leaning towards Serrano. I think that she has just as good or better skills than Katie Taylor. But, man, again, this is going to be a heck of a fight. Right now, there's no word on what the card is going to have, like what other fights are going to be in there. I'm sure there are going to be some other good ones put together by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Of course, Jake Paul with MVP Promotions. So this is going to be great, man. I look forward to this because this is why Amanda Serrano signed up with Jake Paul and MVP. She wants to be able to get these opportunities. And man, hands down to Eddie Hearn again and Jake Paul MVP Promotions for putting this fight together. This is what the people want to see. This is what I want to see as a boxing fan. And this is opening up the doors to bigger events for women's boxing. They deserve to get paid and to be given the spotlight just like the men do. I don't see no reason why not, especially when you can fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? These girls can damn fight. They can beat some fucking flyweights, to be totally honest with you. So excuse the French, but it is the darn truth. So these girls are for real. This is going to be a heck of a fight. As far as how I see the fight go, man, I really do think that Amanda Serrano is a little bit better skill set. I'm maybe a little biased because she's Puerto Rican and she's, someone that I've been following for a long time. And I've only been watching Katie Taylor only for a couple of years and a few of her fights. But Katie Taylor is the real deal. And this is where if she wants to be considered the undisputed champion in the lightweight division for women's boxing, this is what Taylor as well as Serrano need to do. They need to fight each other. And even if they fight now and one of them win or this is a close fight, then do a rematch and fight again. Why not? And on top of that, this opens the doors, like I said, to all the upcoming young ladies that are training right now, all those young girls in Puerto Rico and all the other countries that are fighting and learning to fight right now because they want to be the next Katie Taylor or the next Amanda Serrano. So this is a big, big event, man. I think it opens up the doors to women's boxing. And again, you got to give it to the two promotional companies and DAZN for putting it on the air. I look forward to it. So we'll see what happens, man. But this is where we at, folks, man. So let me know. I will be watching the fights tomorrow. My intentions are is Monday to come back and do a recap of this weekend's fight card. Tune in. Let me know what you thought of the fight as well. I would love to interact with you guys. And let me know also, man, what do you think of these upcoming two big cards that I mentioned here that I'm excited about? Are you guys excited? Are you looking forward to these fights as well? And if you are, which fight or which fighter you really are leaning towards watching or enthusiastic to watch in those events? Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please drop a like, man. It helps out the channel. I will be having fight highlights of this weekend's fights also by Monday or Tuesday. So if you missed the fight, or you do like me, you want to see the fight again because you want to just get a second look to see who really won it or not, then the fight highlights for these fights will be available here on Boxing Cafe during the course of the first couple of days of next week. So I look forward to seeing you guys, man. Tune in. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So this way you don't miss out not only on the fight highlights, but any news and any of my pre-fight and recap videos that I may have coming forward every single week, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. Until the next time, I see you guys. Peace out.